61. Daniel looked at her. I hope it's not too late. I hope I haven't missed my chance with you yet. 62. So, you're planning on taking him back to the villa? Joseph looked at Sophia coldly. I suggest you consider comrade old man's feelings. Get your hands off me. Daniel looked calm as he took Sophia's hand and put it into his coat pocket. Sophia hesitated. He just got caught in the rain. I want to make him a bowl of soup. Joseph, no soup at the hotel? Daniel smiled. Sophia, I'm fine. I just got caught in the rain a little. I can handle it. Don't worry, I definitely won't have a fever. I can take care of myself. Sophia made a quick decision. Bro, I want to take him back. Joseph said nothing. What a misfortune for our family. What a misfortune for our family. 63. Joseph drove the car out of the parking lot. He opened the passenger door with a cold expression and said, Sophia, sit here. Sophia glanced at Daniel hesitantly. She had challenged her cousin's authority a little too much today, so she planned to obey him now. Fortunately, Daniel didn't react much. He nodded to show his understanding. Joseph didn't care about the flirting between the two. He kept steering, thinking that he had finally won back around. Just as Sophia took a step forward, Daniel, who was sitting in the back seat, sighed leisurely. His voice was a little nasal, and his tone sounded pitiful. You're right, cousin. I just got caught in the rain. It would be bad if I caught a cold and passed it on to you. So, let the kitten sit with me. Joseph, who is your cousin? Sophia paused for a moment. Ahem, bro. How about I just sit in the back, right? Joseph, why don't you try and see if I can break your legs? The kitten let out a weak meow. Daniel scratched its chin and soothed it. Oh, you miss your mom. Mom is here, right in front. 2 seconds later. Sophia tentatively asked, Then should I try? Joseph said nothing. This life is unbearable. 64. Daniel got what he wanted. He looked at Joseph through the rearview mirror, raised his eyebrows, and a smug smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Not even close, my friend. 65. Around 7 o'clock, Sophia and her group returned to Villa number 7. David was not there. The chef had prepared dinner, so they rested for a while before going to the dining room. About 15 minutes into the meal, Joseph finally lost his patience. Sophia Wilson, he just got caught in the rain. His hand isn't broken, okay? Daniel sat in the chair, like an invalid. At first, he would move his fork a few times, but later Sophia fed him directly, and he would tease the cat or Sophia. On the other side of the dining table, it's spring all year round, with flowers blooming, but over here, the more I eat, the more depressed and angry I become. Daniel, however, was a man who never learned to hold back. He acted concerned and said, I've been here for a while, but why haven't I seen your wife, cousin? Is she still working overtime? Sophia patted his hand and said, Don't ask. It will make you sad if you ask. Daniel nodded in understanding, then turned to Sophia and said, Sophia, I think. Joseph slammed his fist on the table, his mind spinning out of control. What the hell? Don't even think about it. I'm still here. What kind of dirty thoughts are you having? Daniel said nothing. Sophia, Bro, he was just saying my name. Joseph was so embarrassed that he was angry. Okay, I'm leaving. Is it not okay for me to leave? Daniel swallowed the shrimp in his mouth and said, Go slowly. Drive safe. 66. After Joseph was driven away, Daniel felt relieved. Sophia propped her chin up, puzzled. Why are you mad at him? Daniel went over and hugged her, his voice so soft it almost disappeared. Who asked him to take you away? Sophia. What did you say? Nothing. Daniel rubbed his head against her hair again. I still want more shrimp. 67. Sophia and Daniel had been out all day. After returning home and having a full meal, they had no energy for any entertainment activities. After a short conversation, they decided to wash up and rest early. Sophia took Daniel to the guest room and said, Go take a hot shower. The housekeeper has prepared your clothes and everything. I'll get you some water and aspirin. Daniel nodded, squeezed Sophia's hand, and said with a smile, Okay. Sophia went back to her room, took a shower, and then went to the kitchen in her pajamas. While waiting for the water, she thought about it and sent a text message to Joseph. Sophia, thank you for your hard work today, bro. Sophia, Daniel doesn't usually talk like that. Don't be angry. Sophia thought for a long time and decided to find a reasonable excuse for the mean Daniel. Mainly, he might not be able to adapt to the local climate. Joseph, on the other end, was working out when he received the text message. At that moment, he had no desires or fears, and he conveyed David's command without emotion. Joseph, my uncle asked me to tell you that he hopes you two will work hard tonight so that he can hold his grandson when he comes back from the club tomorrow morning. Sophia. Sophia. Bro, you are so dead. 68. About half an hour later, Sophia went upstairs with a glass of water and aspirin. When she knocked on Daniel's door, Daniel had just come out of the bathroom. He was wearing a bathrobe, his body was still covered in steam, and water was dripping from his hair. Sophia handed the water and aspirin to Daniel, instructed him to sit on the sofa, and ran to her room to get a new dry towel. Daniel wanted to talk to her, but she kept running around. He said helplessly, It's okay, Sophia. My hair will dry on its own in a while. Sophia held up a towel. No, I'm afraid you'll catch a cold. Daniel couldn't persuade her, so he drank the water and took the aspirin under her gentle movements. He put the glass aside, a sly smile hidden in the corner of his eyes. Daniel held Sophia's hand and said, Kiss. 69. Sophia, why did you call me? Daniel smiled and said, I didn't call you. Sophia was stunned for a moment, and her ears turned red as she recalled a scene at the dinner table. 70. But Sophia still said, You did. Daniel pulled her to sit next to him, buried his head in her neck, and hugged her like that. I want to kiss you. Sophia had become as stiff as a board and continued to play dumb. I miss you too. Daniel chuckled. I said I want to kiss Sophia. Sophia felt like Daniel was a pot of warm water, quietly boiling her, the frog. Daniel didn't get a response, so he started teasing her again. I want to kiss Sophia. but she was a frog with weak mental endurance. Frogya's eyelashes trembled. She tried hard to ignore the heat on her cheeks, thinking that it was okay. A kiss wouldn't hurt anything. So she pretended to be impatient and said, "Oh, I know, kiss, kiss, kiss now, okay?" 71. Sophia cupped Daniel's face, closed her eyes, and prepared to give him a life-or-death peck. Unexpectedly, she used too much force and pushed Daniel onto the sofa, his bathrobe opening a little and revealing a large area of his chest and a slender collarbone. Daniel laughed. "Sophia, there's no need to rush. Let's take it one step at a time, okay?" Sophia buried her head in his shoulder, too ashamed and angry to even raise her head. Don't call me that anymore." Daniel simply held her in his arms and touched the back of her neck soothingly, like he was touching a cat. "Okay." Sophia put her arms around Daniel's neck and calmed down for a while, her eyes inadvertently falling on his shoulder. She thought back to that night a few months ago, the lip print on his shoulder. Even though it was separated by a shirt, it still made her sad. 72. Daniel was keenly aware of her loss and asked in a low voice, "What's wrong?" Sophia shook her head. "It's nothing." She said this, but in reality, she pushed aside the bathrobe on Daniel's shoulder, gestured to the approximate location, and then she opened her mouth and took a bite. "Humph." Daniel was suddenly attacked and groaned briefly. "What are you doing?" Sophia stepped back. "Marking my territory." 73. Later, Sophia fell asleep in Daniel's arms. When Daniel carried her to the bed, a loud clap of thunder happened to sound outside the window. Sophia was startled, and she snuggled into Daniel's arms. In a daze, Sophia felt a chill on her fingertips, and Daniel seemed to whisper in her ear, "Sophia, we're reconciled, right?" Maybe she hummed, maybe she didn't. But she knew that when she woke up tomorrow morning, he would be by her pillow. End of text.